I like to keep it fairly informal, so if any time you feel like getting up and coming close to take a picture of your loved one, please do so. Once we get to the big ceremony on Saturday, it's a little harder to get up and catch that candid picture, which is one of the reasons why we like to have you guys in, and it provides an opportunity for you to spend time and see what your loved one has accomplished this year. So at this time, I'm going to introduce President Johnson, and she has a few words to say to you.
Thank you, Tracy, and thank you, Chris, for what you do for this program and for these students. Thank you so much. Welcome to Rio Grande and to this season of celebrations for us. It's really a very exciting time for us as the faculty and the staff and the campus community, but it's also very, very bittersweet for us because we've watched these students grow and develop and be ready to spread their wings in this new way. And so that's a personal and emotional challenge for us to let go. But I want you to know, as family and friends here to support these graduates, that there are a lot of other people in this room that are here because these students are so very important. So I'd like to ask a few people to stand. Chair Vicki Crabtree, if you could stand, please. And Dean Donna Mitchell. Our Provost, Dr. Richard Sachs. Jamie Bissett, he's our Vice President for Marketing and Enrollment. He's already standing. I'd also like to recognize Chris, and Tracy's already standing. Chris, you got to stand up. We're not going to let you sit. I'd also like to recognize two of our Board of Trustees members that are here. Dr. Alice Tahowski and Ms. Kay Irvin. Am I leaving anyone out as far as staff? Would you please, I scanned the audience, trustees, staff. Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause. Their work is so sacrificial. And sometimes on a day-to-day basis, you may not feel it or know it, but it's happening behind the scenes, and it's all because of you. I only want to take a couple of minutes for just some words that have really resonated with me, and I want to share these primarily with the graduates. And for you first-year students that have been doing all the labor today, right, doing all the work, you're earning, special awards forevermore for laying the groundwork and for serving these students tonight. But in a commencement speech that Mark Andreessen gave a few years ago, and he's the founder of Netscape, and he's a big shareholder for Facebook. And in this commencement speech, he said that he really criticized some of the words of wisdom that I actually really love, and that is these words like, follow your dreams. Pursue your passions. Do what you love. And I really like that advice. But I think he had a really neat approach to this. He said he had some better advice. And I wanted to share that with you guys, and you can decide if it's better or worse, whichever it is. As I watched you guys at the RISE event, the Undergraduate Research Day, these students had gone to conference and had been in a quiz bowl, and they talk about their experience, and next year we're going to kick some rear against Kent State, right? We're gonna beat them next year. Okay, you got to carry that flag for us. But I watched you guys talk about that experience, and it was so exciting to see the confidence, the excitement, the fire that you had, and that I knew that you took onto that stage and took forward and represented Rio with. And I think there's a common theme here. He said that rather than just do what you love, he said, do what contributes. And I'm thinking about the profession that you've chosen and the work that you're doing. It's all about contributing. I think there's very little about you in that work, right? It's about others. And so he said that those people who contribute the most are also the most satisfied. And so I hope that that's true. I think we can all strive for that for sure. I encourage you to latch on to that, to whatever your passion is, whether it's that, contributing to others, or doing other good in this world, but just contributing, I think, is so important. As you find your place also, I encourage you to find something that you can hold on to that's greater than yourself, whether that's family or community, your workplace, your society, whatever those things are. Because those are the things that bring a great deal of return to. They just make us better all the way around. We are so thankful that you chose Rio Grande for your studies. And we hope that you'll never be a stranger. You're forever Rio. You're forever a part of this family. And thank you for sharing your life on this journey with us. And congratulations to you all.
Calls for President Johnson, who does an awful lot, just as much as board members and administration and everybody else here. So, Dr. Johnson, if you'll stand up. So each year, the students select community service to do, and they chose, it was Helping Hands Food Drive, and I believe we brought in 99, 120. Yeah, we won. So we did kick somebody in other areas. So it goes to the local food bank and it's distributed here among the community. So it's a valued effort and a great cause to pursue. So those participating was Cheyenne Smith, Morgan McMillan, Rachel Payne, Rachel said it was her game plan. Exactly what was the game plan?
We won last year.
Right.
And we kind of wanted you guys to lose.
For like teamwork, or Irish is our class. So we set any higher than that.
Yeah, I think I set a goal for everyone to bring in 10 cans.
We set a goal for like 20.
So I guess the lack is sort on them because we didn't do it this year, the first year. Sorry, Chris, we didn't.
We were kind of wondering when we didn't see any food in the class.
Oh, no, we collected for the backpack buddies, the first year students. So the cans were distributed to kids so they had food to eat on the weekends. So sorry, but this year it was. All right, Victoria. Yes, I can. Dawn. Herbert, who goes like this. Yeah, it wasn't H a lot. Now I just sort of shortened it to a sound. Jessica. Shane. And I'll turn it over to Chris for the encore. You have.
About 2 years ago, we started a National Honor Society for the Imaging Sciences. X-ray techs and ultrasound techs can join. We're up to over 30 members now, current and alumni. So I have a certificate for their membership. They have to maintain a certain GPA, participate in poster, essays, conferences, community service project, which again, we did the Rio Food Pantry. Pizza, though, seemed to be the motivator for this time around. But we did win. We also have some honor cords that you can wear at graduation for Saturday. So Cheyenne Smith. Victoria Wolf. She was the vice president of our Honor Society. Cheyenne was the treasurer.
Again, not business majors.
bought with our money. Rachel Payne. She was the president of our society. Morgan McMillan. Herb McIntyre. And our secretary, who had a connection at the bookstore,
Alright, so I guess we'll start with some academic awards. I want to say out of 9 students, if you round the 2.9 up to 3.0, I want to say every single one of our students has a 3.0, which is fantastic. A lot of students, they juggle work, family, and sometimes it's just not immediate family. It's grandmothers, grandfathers that they live with and take care of, even extended family members. Boy, they take some really tough classes. They take radiation physics.
It's too hard.
Just the math. They take the grid that I give them, and then Chris gives them. And it's what? The density mass chart? Yes. But it's stuff that they're going to have to know and use in their career. And so I think they did an excellent job this year maintaining their academic and their home life. And home is just as important as work, because they always say no one goes on their deathbed saying, "Oh, I sure did wish I worked more." It just doesn't happen. That you have to find a balance. All right, so the person that had the highest cumulative grad GPA is Morgan McMillan. Chris and I decided, talked around about it, and selected Rachel Payne as an outstanding student in the classroom. Okay. We have 3 students who carried a 3.7 GPA. So that was Don Helton. That is an A average. Pretty impressive. Herbert McIntyre.
Based on their clinical performance, talking with some of the X-ray techs they work with, we've chosen 2 students for outstanding work at the clinical site. That goes to Victoria Wallman. And Morgan McMillan.
Our accrediting body, which is the JRCERT, allows us to pick 2 people each year to give us a highest recognition to. And this one is for outstanding performances in the radiologic science. There's a lot that goes into this. It's not only the academic performance, but it's the classroom performance, it's the patient care skills, it's just the all around that we're looking for. And the person that Chris and I chose this year was Rachel Payne. back, and it's the wonderment, it's the innate curiosity that some students have. You know, I remember my son when he was young, he colored the dog blue. And it wasn't blue, the little character dog, it was just a coloring page he had, and he colored outside the lines, and to me that was absolutely precious, because at some point someone's going to say, no, that's not right, the dog has to be brown, or black, or white, and you have to color inside the lines. And that's not quite fair, because you kind of take the creativity away from kids. But a few students, by the time they get to the college level, still have that innate curiosity, and they challenge Chris and I. They'll say, well, what about this? Well, I don't know. I don't quite agree with that. What about this? So the person that we identified this year as our curiosity person, we give him the Wilhelm Rankin Award. And Wilhelm Rankin is the guy who discovered X-rays, and that award goes to Herbert McIntyre.
Certificates of appreciation for the clinical instructors. They filled out over 500 evaluations for me this past academic year. So they really are my eyes and ears out there when I'm not there. So I'd like to give an appreciation to Erica Jivitin. Works at Holzer in calculus. And Ginger Denny, Pleasant Valley Hospital.
And I would like to recognize the fact that these are our records.
The students voted on a couple of awards that they would like to present to the clinical staff. The ratings for the
A, for outstanding clinical science experience, my very first day, they looked me right in the face and said, in this field, it's sink or swim, and I think you'll do just fine. And that goes to Pleasant Valley Hospital. And while you're up here for student selected outstanding clinical instructor, Ginger Denny. And for exceptional radiologic technologist. I call him textbook because all of his films were spot on, and if you ever had problems, he'd show you the way, and that goes to Ryan Roush.
Our accreditation body allows us to present an award to someone in the clinical world who takes extra time, extra steps to build their knowledge with the students. This person's spent over 1,200 hours with these guys. He works in Holzer Orthopedics. After the students rotate with him, their speed, their accuracy for x-rays increases, their confidence increases, really pushes them out there and makes them not be afraid of patients and working with orthopedic doctors and surgeons. He's all the time pointing out anatomy on films. He's also a Rio graduate several years ago. I really appreciate his work and effort. And the students and I would like to present Cody Codwell with the Excellence.
have done in the past 2 years while they've sat in our classroom. We've collared. We played with Play-Doh. We went to a lunatic insane asylum, which was awesome. And we also went to see a mummy exhibit. And some of this was made possible by the support of our administration. The students was selected for the Provost Academic Initiative, and that was the one that allowed us to go to Weston, West Virginia, where they had the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, which was a fascinating. There wasn't any patients there, but the building itself is in the process of being remodeled, and so they had one wing that was completely remodeled, so we could see what it was like, 100 years ago when patients were actually admitted into the hospital. The doctors lived there, the nurses lived there, their families lived there, and it just wasn't, for insane people. If someone got a divorce and they didn't like their wife, they could send them to the insane asylum. They could be kicked by a mule. They could have female problems and get sent to the insane asylum. And the way that we tied it is because some of our patients get tuberculosis, and the tuberculosis patients were often sent into these insane asylums. So that was a really interesting exhibit to go see. And then the president's travel grant allowed us to go to Cincinnati, to the Union Station, where we got to see mummies. And we got to see a couple different types. We got to see one that had been in a bog, so the bones were black, and it was fascinating because they were bendable. And you think of strong bones that they don't bend. We got to see an Egyptian mummy that had been dried out. It looked like just what you see on TV. I think the one that fascinated me the most was the one that had been just encased in a church, and the skin had become very paper-like. You can see where the bugs had kind of crawled in and out. And I know that may be rude to you guys. Fascinated in the field. And then for the second year, they got the Provost Initiative, and they got to travel to Cleveland. How many of you have never been to Cleveland? So several of the students, first time heading out to the big city. It was my first time going to Cleveland, beautiful city, where they did participate in the Quiz Bowl, and they put up a good fight. They shouldn't feel bad. After you guys left, they wanted to know what inflammation of the vertebrae was, and they answered vertebritis. Right? So that's funny to us. It was not the correct answer, by the way. And that team didn't answer any more questions. So you guys had nothing to hang your head about. You guys put up a good fight. What I found out later, because I'm actually on the Quiz Bowl team, and I'm one of the judges, and sometimes a sergeant at arms. And what I found out later is some of the other teams, the bigger teams, Ohio State, Kent State, Sinclair University, they scrimmage each other during the year. We didn't know that. We practiced here on our own, and then go up there and sort of get hammered. So it's okay. We'll do better next year, guys. Anything else that we've done that's happened?
Clinically, some numbers for you. I'm a numbers guy. They've had each student's had over 1,200 hours of clinical education. It averages out to about 140, 145 days. They've performed over 13,000 imaging examinations. Ulcer and Pleasant Valley. I just found that fascinating. They've touched a lot of lives in the community, and I hope they stick around and take care of all of us. Yeah. That's it.
I like how he says that he's touched a lot, because you say, well, they've touched a lot of people. I get in trouble for that nowadays. All right, we have just a few more certificates. I'd like to recognize Vicki Crabtree. Vicki's always my mentor. She's never ever said, Tracy, go away. I've asked Vicki Crabtree probably 13,000 questions since I started Rio Grande. She's fantastic to work with. She's a real asset to Rio Grande. So Vicki, thank you for all you do. And someone else that I couldn't do without, besides Chris, is my secretary. And we share secretaries. So she's the one that gets my calls ready. Says, Tracy, you got this due. Would you send it in? Keeps me on track. And she's just fantastic too. So does it look like? If you want to step closer and get pictures.
Put them in my hand.
I've known Rachel the longest. She had me for anatomy back in the day. And 2 years of extra school.
I got both.
if you guys will sing, we'll have everyone one big round of applause. I have one last word to get out. I guess we saved the best for last. And I'm going to try to get through this without time. I don't think that I can. But this award goes to Mike Rowe. He's been with the program since the very beginning. He's attended numerous meetings. He's been on our interview committee. He's in our clinical sites. He retired this past year, so we lost a fantastic asset. So I think the world might come down. Not only have his certificate, but we also got him a plaque. So he'll remember us forever and ever and ever, because he'll forever and ever be in our hearts. There's a lot of things that we would not have gotten accomplished without Mike Rowe being one of our biggest supporters here at Rio Grande and in the Holzer hospitals. So Mike, thank you so much. There's a few fun things that I know about Mike Rowe.
Let me say a few things.
Okay.
I'd just like to say it's been an honor and a privilege to have the chance to work with Tracy and Vicki and Chris. Parents of these students know, I want you to know they graduated from an outstanding program. And students, I've sat where you're sitting, not in this auditorium, because I didn't graduate from here, 43 years ago. It seems like yesterday. My advice to you, when you go to work, give it your all. Your patients, treat them like they're your family. I tell that to the students all the time. But that's your mother, that's your brother, that's your father laying on the table. Treat them like family. Go to work with the right attitude every day. And time will go by so fast, I can't believe for the last 43 years. I know you guys will all be great.
So when Mike come in every year to participate, to help select our new class, he likes lead pencils. So I got Mike some mechanical pencils to remember to get the lead out, because once you retire, you don't want to sit around and rust. So always remember to get the lead out, Mike.
I've been doing that.
I also know that Mike likes to travel. He gets down to Myrtle Beach pretty soon. And so I want his life to be sweet on the way. And I know he loves sweet tea, so I got him a Chick-fil-A certificate so he can get some sweet tea, because they have fantastic tea. And Mike also likes to golf. So Mike, we got you a nice bright Grande because you're family. So wherever you go, you can let everybody know that you're still family. All right, let's give Mike a round of applause. All right, well, now that I've cried and I've laughed and we had a good time, before you guys come off, I'd like to get a brief picture of you guys. So thank you. I'd like to thank President Johnson and Provost Sachs and Don Mitchell, who's our dean, the chair, Vicki Crabtree, my secretary, the board members who have attended, all of the administration out in the Holzer hospitals and President Raleigh Hospital. Without you, our students wouldn't be able to get real life experience, and you're so invaluable. To my co-worker of forever and ever, Chris, he's fantastic, and thank you to Rachel, his wife, who lets him come and still go to work and put up with me every year. And thank you to the families and the loved ones, simply because without you letting your children come or your loved one come to Rio Grande, we wouldn't have a fantastic class and we wouldn't have the success stories that we have. So thank you so much. And there are cookies outside the door and lemonade, so please help yourself and please feel free to take pictures. That's everything. I'll pick the name and Deborah Vance, would you like to stand up? It is Mother's Day and you get to be the lucky mother.